Everything about how I put myself together with my looks and with my beautiful, wonderful dragon horn crown is because today's spirit animal it's the beautiful dragon. Whee! Dragon! I'm in a deep meditation and I'm thinking, when you're giving readings to people, what's missing? Is this a complete deck? Is there something that's needed that people of our time and our era need to connect with? And the animals that represent abundance, in buffalo is that animal. How buffalo provided everything for the First Nations. So they provided food, it provided the skins, so that's clothing and teepees and more. I mean, endlessly. They could use that skin for so many different things. It provided bones. They could make all kinds of instruments and tools out of the bones. It provided the skull, which in sweat lodge is used. And so it was representative of true wealth. It was representative of, you could kill one buffalo and feed more than just a family. You could feed a huge amount of people. And so it was so beautiful. It was a beautiful sharing connection. It was a beautiful way of sustaining. And of course the herds were large and there was lots of ceremony. There was ceremony before the buffalo hunt. There was ceremony after the buffalo hunt. There was so much respect. And of course we need to get back to respecting animals because that's been lost because of what? Greed. People want to make the most money with the least amount of expense, and that creates horrible, disgusting behaviors and practices. Now, going back to buffalo, going back to my connection with it. So now I'm 19 years old, and at first I'm connecting with buffalo, and I'm trying to be out there in the world. I didn't have parents to take care of me. If I didn't make money, I was going to be on the streets, little street urchin going, alms for the poor. You get really tired going, am I going to be homeless? Am I going to be okay? And so I would sit and I would do a prayer to the buffalo medicine. And you know what happened? It worked. But it worked exactly the way its energy actually represents, which is being provided for. Out of nowhere, people would provide meals for me, take me to dinner. I need new clothing for job interviews, and somebody would give me all of their clothing. And my needs were being provided for. But you can't pay your landlord with bread and clothing. You'll be out on the street. They don't trade. We go into the culture of finances and we go into the culture of banks, is this energy got tough. So I was like, what represents treasure? What represents abundance? But not just normal abundance. I was thinking, if I was going to give a reading to somebody and they were in fact potentially able to take care of more than themselves, would they be able to make enough money, enough resources to be able to handle a village? Would they be able to make enough money to be able to establish a legacy? So I thought I should have something in there. You occasionally sit across from somebody as a reader who's quite wealthy. And if you have no way of understanding how to guide them either toward that or guide them to use it wisely, on that day, 19 years old, I'm meditating. What I see as the perfect representation of wealth and power was dragon. So it was after that I did research to see if indeed in the world the dragon represented more than just sitting on top of the horde. Like, to me, dragon was a positive energy. It was about being a mother, a father of people, and being a caretaker, not just of yourself, but of the world and the people around you. So it has more dignity, more respect. For me, it wasn't about greed. And greed is a problem. We have a problem with people who make millions and billions of dollars, and rather than helping out the people who work beneath them, they hoard and hoard and hoard. I mean, they're the worst of the worst, really they are. I wanted to represent who will be the new dragons? Who are the dragons of the era that take care of the land, the sea, the water, and each other? Because when I did the research on it and realized that the Chinese, Japanese, Korean dragons were all about good fortune, good luck, wisdom, languages, intelligence, but also abundance, treasure, good fortune. It was beautiful to see that connection. It was beautiful for me to experience the fact that in vision, I was shown that dragon was that, I'm gonna use the term earth healer, of a time and an era where we need to change the way we handle money and handle each other. And dragon came through. And dragon's been around for thousands of years. Universal. It's multicultural. Not one culture owns the dragon. All cultures equally recognize and respect the dragon. So for me to honor and respect the magic and intensity of dragon, well, I dressed up for it. So I have my beautiful dragon horns, my Maleficent magic dragon horns. So you can see I've got my dragon eyes. and my little glints of gold and my dragon scale energy. I'm going to really put time into it because it's not just about makeup. It's not about how pretty you may appear. It's about how much do you care about what you're putting out there, and are you invested in it? And I got this dragon shirt in 2010. The tail of the dragon's on my shoulder and the head of the dragon is on my belly. So ready? Here we go. Dragon, dragon, the beautiful dragon. So we got this back foot and then we have it twisting around. And then here we go, there's the face. And you can see it's got this wonderful whiskers, the little joyful whiskers. And so there we go, we got the dragon, we got the rose, and it's full respect to dragon, full ceremony to dragon. It is about treasure, it is about strength, it's about internal power, it's about getting in touch with personal wealth. I mentioned this earlier is that the reason why the Europeans translated dragon as malevolent or evil is because every single time they ran into people who were earth spirited and pagan, the Welsh, the Scottish, what have you, they considered them the devil. Oh wait, I'm gonna shine my devil horns at you. They called people who are truly in touch with nature and spirit power, people who could vision and who could be trans-dimensional, they called them evil because they were scared, because they wanted to repress, because they wanted to oppress. And this has happened the world around. This has happened to everyone the world around. So when you look at the tribal pagans, the Irish, the Welsh, the Scottish, before the Roman Catholic Church decided to get its nose up in everybody's business, everybody was tribal. Everybody was connected to the land and nature's spirits. Everybody was striving to be deeper, and everybody had their tribal shaman. You can call it medicine person, you can call it sorceress, you can call it wizard, you can call it guru, you can call it whatever you want it, but people had those. But when the church wanted to take over everything, take wealth away from women, take wealth away from the landholders who were there caretaking the land, they called them evil and devils, and you either repented and became Christian, gave up your stuff to the church and the king, or you died. So we already know that they swept through every culture and caused the same damage. They called the dragon evil, even though they were willing to connect with it on the energy of it being about hoards of riches. So they understood the hoards of riches. They were believed to guard great treasures and were often associated with heroes who try to slay them. For instance, there is the all too familiar tale of the venerated military saint, Saint George killing a dragon. Thus, according to European myth, the dragons are symbolic of sin, wickedness, and ferocity. The Welsh folklore contains some notable exceptions to this view. So many stories around dragon. Dragon is pervasive. It's throughout everything. In the Orient, dragons symbolize wisdom, longevity, sexuality, fertility, procreation, and regeneration. The regeneration is the part where I said if you eat an apple and you take the seeds and then you plant the seeds, then you're continuing to regenerate wealth. Give back. In other words, if you have something, give back. If you keep giving back, you never run out of resources. That's what regeneration is about, especially seen as a mythical being having magical powers and symbolizing water in the Asian cultures. The dragon of ancient India have been the Nagas, serpents that existed in the underworld in enmity with the eagle man god Garuda. These creatures were considered the wise and benign guardians of life-giving properties of water. Yesterday was armadillo, so it was about having boundaries and protecting your resources, and day before that was phoenix. Now the thing I think is really amazing is when you're in a cycle where both phoenix and dragon show up in the same week, you're looking at some seriously magical things afoot. Chinese dragons. The ancient Chinese regarded the dragon as the most potent of all symbols of energy and good fortune. They believed it to be the harbinger of incredible luck, prosperity, abundance, consistent success, and high achievement. High achievement's connected to that wisdom energy. It was said to represent potent, propitious powers, especially control over rainfalls, floods, and hurricanes. The dragon is still a very popular symbol that stands for valiance, heroism, boldness, self-confidence, power, excellence, perseverance, nobility, vitality, and happiness. It brings about physical as well as spiritual well-being and strength. It is related to the spring season and representative of auspiciousness and new beginnings. Together with the phoenix, the dragon symbolizes perfect balance. The dragon is a symbol of yang and the phoenix of yin, and their union is representative of good luck, success, love, and enlightenment. The Chinese dragons are often depicted with a pearl under their chin. Generally, it is said that the pearl symbolizes riches, prosperity, and great fortune, while some mystics believe it represents wisdom, enlightenment, and truth. I'm going to switch to American dragons because I'm about connecting all. I'm not divisive. I'm about how we're a human family. And the more you learn how much we share, not how much separates us, but how much we share and how much we've all gone through, the more we can actually start healing each other, healing our resources, and healing the world. And you know, the more we get deep with who we are and what we have to bring, including reparations of soul and spirit, so that we can go out in the world and bring our best selves, then the better off we're all going to be. The dragons in the modern North American and ancient Mesoamerican mythologies are mostly serpentine in form. The US and Canada have common dragons, the horned snake, that is not a bad creature and is believed to come to the aid of young women. The Mesoamerican dragons are important gods in the Aztec and Mayan cultures. Most notably among them is the feathered serpent, the Quetzalcoatl. I'm probably saying it wrong. I apologize to anybody who's American. Benevolent dragon is credited with creating the earth and everything else on it. It was believed to devour evil people, yay, and could control the weather and the rain. Let's go back to the fact that dragon is universal. Japanese dragon, the Chinese dragon, the Korean dragon, the European dragon, the Welsh dragon, the Mesoamerican dragon. But if you were to decide to just start traveling the world and asking for dragon stories, you're not going to find a culture that doesn't have a dragon story. And what you'll find is what's universal is where you can find truth. So if one person says a dragon is evil and 50 people say a dragon is good, then you already know that that one person has an agenda. Let's stay away from divisiveness. We're not going to get anywhere good when we divide each other. We're only going to get good places when we start realizing that we are all a family. Dragon is the caretaker. Let's go back to when I was a kid. So what do I do when I'm sitting in this energy? How do I guide people? And that vision and that voice said, teach people how to use their fertility, their abundance, and their wealth to caretake each other rather than to steal, to grab, to greedy, none of that. Prosperity is something every person can share. Once you rise to the top, you have enough to share with many. If I had, let's say, $30 million, what would I do with $30 million? Would I get $20 million in cars and houses? How stupid is that? That is a form of spiritual lack and loss of personal wisdom. When I was younger, I really wanted to start supporting the idea of new wealth. And even now that I'm no longer younger, I'm still supporting the idea of new wealth. Anybody I know of who has a passionate spirit and a desire to make real connection with community and bring everybody together, I am more than happy to be part of their ascension. I am more than happy to see them achieve great goals. And if I were to have $30 million, you can be sure I'd be taking care of a lot of business. It wouldn't just be me going, yay, now I'm rich. Yay, now I'm going to buy shoes and makeup and jewelry. That's not who I am. I would be provided for in all the natural ways, and probably if I wanted to be a little bit greedy, and I don't even think it's greedy if I was able to earn that kind of money, I would use it to travel. That's it. But traveling would just expose me to more people that I can engage with, share resources with, and that's what we're supposed to be starting to move toward. There has to be a shift. People who say that if you're part of the spiritual community, you're greedy or there's something wrong with you if you desire wealth. Well, look, people, we need to redistribute wealth into the right hands. Right now, I think we can all agree that wealth is in the wrong hands consistently. The people who have wealth don't want to help anybody, doesn't want to share anybody. The rich are getting richer and they're like this many people, right? The poor are getting poorer and the middle class are joining the poor. That is ridiculous. There is no reason for that. We have a well-educated society. We have crazy resources. The fact that they throw food away rather than give it to the people who need it is all BS. We who are the mothers who are trying to offer the milk to the children are the ones thinking that we don't deserve this, that we don't deserve success, that we don't deserve to flourish. And the truth is, we need to flourish. This isn't like what we deserve. It's what we need. If we want to restrike a balance, we have to succeed. If we're going to see a change where people are treated fairly and with respect, then people who actually have a deep soul and will are going to be the ones who rise to the top. That we're between Phoenix and Dragon, and that little animal that decided to pop in the middle, and I'm calling Armadillo right now the Texan Dragon, the Texan Dust Dragon. We had the Armadillo between Phoenix, soulmate and yin energy and female energy and romantic energy, and Dragon, which is wealth and land and weather and power and wisdom and that pearl of wisdom, and then the Armadillo between the two saying you need to protect your precious resources. So I hope you guys have the most beautiful day. Enjoy your dragon. Please, I ask you, I beg of you, share, like, and comment. I'm trying to get wisdom out there in the world. I'm trying to get this beautiful spirituality out there in the world. There's too many negative talkers, and we need to get past all of this. We need to grow together, community-wise, heart-wise, and spirit-wise, and I love you.